This is Media Break. You give us 5 minutes, we'll give you the world. Good day, I'm Keith.
And I'm Abby. In today's top story, we'll be showing you some mistakes we found in RoboCop.
Now, we love RoboCop, but let's be honest, there were more than just a couple cinematic inconsistencies in this movie.
For starters, the movie is supposed to take place in Detroit, but it's actually Dallas, and the Dallas skyline can be seen throughout the film. Speaking of Dallas, we went there recently and hunted the filming locations for RoboCop. We have a separate video. We will link it below.
Lots of action happens in the OCP Boardroom. Most notably, when Mr. Kennedy gets shot by ED-209 and then Dick Jones by RoboCop. In both instances, you can clearly see the red packets on their back that are supposed to give the illusion of blood splatter when they're shot. Additionally, after they're shot, the bullet holes clearly go through their body, but they never penetrate the glass behind them. Curious.
Several times in the movie, you can catch a glimpse of the crew and camera equipment. For example, reflections of the crew and cameras can be seen on the Sux 6000. Reflection of the crew can be seen on this TV screen. You can see a crew member in the background when RoboCop stabs Clarence. And you can also see the crew's reflection on these gold ornaments.
At the Shell gas station, Emil's filling up his motorcycle with gasoline. If you notice, the hose that they use is actually corrugated garden hose that's clear, and it has a pink liquid in it.
When Boddicker comes to Bob's house, he's doing drugs with some ladies. And in the scene, you can see drug residue next to the grenade on the glass table. But then, in the next scene, the residue disappears.
Back at OCP headquarters, RoboCop has a shootout with an ED-209 using the Cobra Assault Cannon. It's a cool gun. Well, he fires twice, and when they cut away and come back, somehow one of the shell casings got stuck in the gun.
Officer Fredrickson's name is misspelled in the police database. They left out the letter C. Oops! Earlier in the movie, we saw it spelled with a C on his locker.
When RoboCop is searching the police database, he learned that he lived at 548 Primrose. So he heads over there, but the funny thing is, it turns out he lived in the 3200 block of Primrose.
In the highway shootout scene, the windshield and light bar on the police car are damaged from gunfire. But then in the next scene, they're completely intact.
Dick Jones was really high-tech in this movie. He implanted a tracking device on RoboCop. But the funny thing is, it was actually just painted on glass, and they had a fixed dot on the screen. So 3 times in the movie they show this, but RoboCop never moved because he's always in the same spot. They did switch over once to a moving device, but then they did revert back to the fixed screen again. What's up with that?
In the scene where the bad guys go on a rampage of destruction, Nash hits the roof of Boddicker's SUX 6000 vehicle, and the rearview mirror falls off. Man, those cars really suck.
RoboCop disrupts a liquor store robbery. The armed gunman fires multiple times at RoboCop, shooting him in his armor, leaving residue. But in the next scene, when RoboCop and the armed gunman get into an altercation, the residue is gone. Now, one of my favorite scenes is when RoboCop gives a throat punch to this guy, and, normal gravity, you just would have fallen back, but somehow he flies to the side and ends up in what is already broken glass on one of the refrigerator cases.
Now, there's some debate over what floor the OCP headquarters is located on. In some scenes in the movie, it's 95th floor. In other places, it says the 120th floor. Either way, when RoboCop is battling ED-209, they fall down a couple of flights of stairs and wind up on level L1.
At the steel mill, just before Emil ends up driving into the toxic waste, RoboCop fires 3 rounds into the van's windshield, but somehow it turns into 9 bullet holes.
In the final dramatic scene of RoboCop, we see Dick Jones come flying out the window of the OCP boardroom. When he's in the boardroom, his suit jacket is gray. But when he's falling out, it turns black.
Now we need to address the elephant in the room. When Dick Jones falls out of the window, he has extraordinarily long arms.
He sure does. That is the weirdest special effect we've ever seen.
Thank you for joining today's broadcast.
See you next time, and in case we don't see ya, good afternoon.
Good evening.
And good night.